The city of Munich, Germany is dumping Linux in favor of Windows. Does that mean Linux is kaput in Germany? Well, we'll let you know right after this. Hey, and welcome to Talking Microsoft, the show where each week we try to find a story we think you might be interested in about Microsoft and expand on that just a little bit. And you're watching the Frugal Tech channel, where we do technology analysis, product reviews, and sometimes a tutorial as well. So thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate those thumbs up and those comments down below. Let's just get right into the story. For the last 14 years, the city of Munich, Germany has had a project called, I'm not sure if it's pronounced LiMux or LiMux, but L-I-M-U-X. And the idea was to replace the Microsoft ecosystem with open source software and the Linux operating system across its 20 plus different departments, encompassing thousands and thousands of users. But recently they've committed to moving back 20,000 PCs back to Microsoft Windows, with the rollout to begin around 2020 and ultimately the project wrapped up by 2023. This is a big story for a lot of different reasons. So what happened? Well, IT consultants, including Accenture, went to Germany and they talked with the council, as it's called in Munich, and found numerous complaints, but essentially it boils down to a couple different things. One, the city of Munich operates a minority of Windows PCs running its line of business applications, and they're also supporting a Linux environment at the same time. This causes a fractured IT infrastructure in Munich. Now, the IT consultants say, well, the problem is that updating software in such a convoluted system has left unsafe and vulnerable software out there, and this is a real problem to contend with. Now, they're not saying that is particularly because it's Linux, but more or less implying because you have to support Windows and Linux at the same time, and apparently different distributions as well. This has created a real problem, so it's best to standardize back on Microsoft. The current mayor, however, begs to differ and says over 6,000 of his co-workers do not like either LibreOffice or OpenOffice. They've had nothing but problems with it, and they want to get back to Microsoft Office for work. The city of Munich has even machines running Windows XP and even Windows 2000 out there on their network. A big problem in Germany right now, or in the city of Munich, is that there is political division in that city as who supports the LiMux or LiMux project, whatever you want to call it, and who supports Windows. It is interesting that Microsoft moved their German headquarters to Munich about a year ago, though, isn't it? The culprit seems to be with Microsoft Office versus Libre and OpenOffice. The workers that are unhappy say that they have a real problem collaborating and sharing documents, especially when they do annotations and try to share them with third parties. Make no bones about it, this is going to be a massive undertaking when they've got over 12,000 templates and macros that they need to migrate back from OpenOffice to Office 365. So the big question is it because Linux was a failure in this grand experiment of moving an entire city government to open source software, and that Microsoft Windows is that much better? Perhaps it's something more mundane. Maybe it's just good old-fashioned political infighting and said, you know what, let's just go the easiest route and standardize on Microsoft and call it a day. Ultimately, the question comes, is the LiMux project a total failure? I don't think so, but I do think it's probably more politically driven, and the fact that, yes, Microsoft Office is the de facto standard in business communication software on the marketplace. And it's certainly money well spent, in my opinion, for the city to have a homogeneous organization of IT infrastructure and office productivity tools, and that can be easily supported through centralized managers as opposed to a decentralized system. Ultimately, it's one or the other, brother. But I want to get your opinion in the comments down below. Bruce Naylor, have a productive week ahead.